The cities of Sigmar are getting a brand new Battletome as well as a massive range update, and we're going to talk about the book today. I'm Adam from Bowles, and we've got the new Cities of Sigmar. Speaking of the new army box, we actually did an unboxing, and you can click the little thing up here in the corner to check out that video. I'm holding the book hostage until you subscribe. Good job. Let's get started. I just want to start off by saying how fancy this book is. Like most special editions, it's got like the gold foil on the cover. It's got a nice feel to it. There's like a different texture, like that satiny finish, and it's got the gold leaf on all of the pages, making it a very beautiful production and presentation for this book. Content-wise, this book's got about 60 to 70 pages of lore about the cities of Sigmar, which includes their new Dawn Crusades and a bunch of other cool stuff that's been happening in the world. On top of that, it's got a painting guide, and then we get into the actual army building, and there's another 70-ish pages that's going to round you out at about a grand total of 160 pages in this Battletome. So quite a bit of stuff. Skipping over to the army rules, there's 11 different cities to choose from as your sub-faction. Each of the free cities has their own unique thing that they do. Some of them, I don't even know where to start. Some of them are more caster friendly, some of them focus more on particular units, some of them are better at allying with like the Kharadron Overlords, Kurnoth Hunters, or what have you. For example, just kind of picking one here, the Greywater Fastness as an option. They have the ability to use the all-out attack command up to 3 times in your shooting phase. In addition, the first 2 times a friendly Greywater Fastness unit receives the all-out attack command in your shooting phase, a command point is not spent. That's just one of the many cities that you can choose from that just has their own unique abilities. Other than the free cities in terms of like special army rules, the Cities of Sigmar also has their own orders system. Most of these orders you're going to hand out during the hero phase. They're unique in the fact that you get tokens that come with this book, and you actually have 2 sides to each token. One represents the order, and one is just kind of a generic Cities of Sigmar side. You're actually going to place them on the table face down so that the other players can't see them, and then when the order needs to be triggered, you flip it over and show off, hey, this unit has this specific order. Here's a look at the tokens. As you can see, this is the backside, and they're all kind of generic and samey down here. You flip them over and you got the corresponding icon for the particular order that lines up in the book here, as you can see. There's also these cards, or tokens, they're really cardboard cards, I don't know, that are the orders for the various cities of Sigmar. There's 2 generic ones, there's 3 different human orders, 2 different Durden orders, and then 2 elf orders that you can use. This sheet is very handy and also is supposed to come with every copy of the book too. Games Workshop also showed off 2 of the generic orders. So we have the Advance in Formation and the Countercharge order that they showed off already. This plays into the Castellite formation, which is going to be a big deal in this army, specifically like Advance in Formation, which allows you to get an extra 3-inch move for units that are in range of the hero. And on top of that, they also count as being in their fortified position, which is another special rule, which I'm going to talk about right now. Fortified position is a special rule that a couple of different units have in the book, specifically the Great Cannons, 3 Guild Fusiliers, and I think even the Fusilier Major on the Ogor Warhulk. This is a different rule for each one, but it effectively does the same thing. At the start of the battle, the unit counts as being in a fortified position. You deploy them, they are considered in this fortified position. This unlocks various abilities depending on the unit. For the Great Cannon, as an example, it gets access to the 2 other shooting options besides just Grape Shot. It gets their standard cannonball and their armor-piercing shell. This is a big deal because if they don't move, they have access to these abilities, and if they do move, they lose them, unless you use the order that I just mentioned, Advance in Formation. The book also has your standard stuff, like all your artifacts power, all of your relics enhancements there, spell lores, obviously, Collegiate Arcana spell lore, which is basically for humans. There's the lore of the Dark Sorcery, which is for the Dark Elf sorcerers and units. There's also prayers for your Durden priests that are included in the game. This book's got a pretty wide array, and really being able to mix and match those units into a cohesive army is what makes the Cities of Sigmar kind of tick. These are just dudes. You're putting the mortal back in mortal realms here with this book. They definitely have to work together like a well-oiled machine if you want them to succeed on the tabletop. In terms of new units, there's a bunch. GW's been showing them off all over the place. Basically anything that is a free guild is a new unit. You're probably going to see a lot of things like the free guild Fusiliers. Those are the guys with the big shields, with the rudimentary rifles, cannons, the fusils, if you will, which is what they're called. They're a very highly defensible thing. I do appreciate how cool the models look on the tabletop and how cool they look together. That's a real plus for this whole army. They also have their own core unique battalion. Again, this is the Castlight formation. This includes the Fusil Major. You can have up to 2 of those. You have to take 1. You'll have to have 3 Free Guild Fusiliers or Free Guild Stilham units included in this formation. And then you also have to take 1 cannon as well. So it's a unique formation, and if you do take it, you will get the Unified and the Slayers ability icons for the battalion. So it's pretty good for what you're getting. Being a 1-drop with Unified is great, and then again, Slayers is once per battle. They can get the all-out command or all-out attack or unleash hell without spending a command point, which is pretty nice. One of the really cool units in the book is Talia Vedra. She's the new mercenary captain lioness of the Parch hero in the book. She's riding a freaking manticore that she had a staring contest with and won. Pretty baller. She has 4 different weapons that she's basically taken from corrupt officials that she slaughtered and like took their weapons of office to show off how badass she is. She's pretty cool. The Manticore that she does ride on also has its own special Monstrous Rampage, which is paralyzing venom. If you are fighting another monster, you basically, on a 3-up, you make that have strike last until the end of the turn, which is pretty great. She's a really awesome looking centerpiece model. I really hope people lean into that vibe with her, because I think, again, she's just a cool model. One of the big changes from this book from the previous edition is the removal of basically all of the Wood Elves and High Elf units are now just gone. That said, it still includes a lot, if not all, of the Duradin Dwarf units. Those are all here, and basically the entire Dark Elf army is still in this book. So if you have those models, you're not left out in the cold. What is in this book, though, is a brand new refocus on a ton of the new Cities of Sigmar units that have been reintroduced and updated and just brand new stuff to the game. Things like your Free Guild units, all of the fancy new models that Games Workshop's already shown off, like Pontifex Zenestra and Talia Vendra, those 2 big new models that are in the game. There's also just a ton of like stuff you'd expect. The old Steam Take's still in here. There's new Free Guild cannons, the Fusils, all those guys. So yeah, it's a really good mix of old and new in this book. If you've been reading our website, bellasouls.net, you know that I've written about the rules already. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of the rules, but not because they're bad rules. It's just this is a particular army that doesn't appeal to me as a player personally. Some players are really going to like the ability to have an awesome castle moving forward gun line. That's great. If that's your jam, this is the army for you. Absolutely. Go for it. It's not my cup of tea. That's just how it is. Other than that, I really like the models in this army. This release has been just a breath of fresh air. The models look cool because they're like gritty and they look realistic, and it's just humans back in the mortal realms, which have been missing for a very long time. They're not giant dudes in armor like Stormcast. They're just regular dudes with, you know, messed up chainmail, wrapped up ankles, and broken arms. Like, they're there to fight against orcs and dragons and all manner of demons, and you gotta appreciate that fight with the underdog. If you are the type of person that wants an army that feels like a little bit of an underdog, maybe leans more into the black powder aspect of the swords and sorcery than I like, but if that's your jam, then that's your jam. This new Age of Sigmar, Cities of Sigmar book is the one for you. Go look at the unboxing and other assorted videos. I don't know what. Go look at the unboxing.